What is going on, everybody? So in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is the WEN cross-slide vise and why this is one tool you definitely need in your garage. So if you don't have a cross-slide vise, or if you don't know what a cross-slide vise is, then be sure to subscribe, and so you can just learn more about tools like this. And be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. So what a cross-slide vise is that unlike traditional vices that are just kind of anchored down and all you are controlling is just the face of the vise, you know, and then you would just put something in and then that would be that. So if you had to drill something or if you had to hammer something or weld, you know, then that's it, that's all you get. Whereas a cross-slide vise, the cool thing is that you get these two adjustment handles, knobs, and you can move your work from left to right and forward and back. So that's the difference between a regular vise and a cross-slide vise. Now, why is this important? And it's important because if you are drilling something and, you know, like, you have your work in the vise, and so typically if you just have a regular vise and it's on a drill press and, you know, you can't move it, so then what you would have to do, if you had to drill 4 holes, right? Like let's say you had to drill 4 holes in this work right here, this piece right here, you know, at your 12, 6, 3, and 9 o'clock. Then traditionally you would have to take it out, rotate it, put it back in, drill again, take it back out, you know. Whereas with a cross-slide vise, you don't have to do that. In a cross-slide vise, all you have to do is make a drill, right? Let's say you're 12 and then you want to go down to your 6. Then all you got to do is just rotate this and take it down to 6 o'clock, drill again. Now you want to go to your 3, just rotate it over. Yeah, you have your 3, and then rotate it back, and you have your 9. And so you never have to take it out of the vise until you're completely finished. So that is the really cool thing about a cross-slide vise. And now there's a lot of cross-slide vices out there on the market, and you know, some are really expensive. This one is made by WEN and it's around 70 to 80 bucks. And you know, that's a pretty good deal, but there's a catch with this vise. And the catch is you're gonna have to do a lot of work to get it to operate this smooth. It's not gonna just come out the box operating this smooth. Sometimes you might even have to send some back because they might just come damaged, and then you're gonna have to, like, you know, start fresh again. So when you do purchase this, make sure you inspect it. But the one thing is just really put a lot of good elbow grease or good effort into cleaning this up, polishing it, and I'm gonna talk right now about like just what I did to get this to operate super smooth. One thing is that, like, when I first got it, if I put this in like this and then lock it, crank it down, and then when I go to release it, this would get stuck. And because what was happening was this face wasn't even and this bed wasn't smooth, and so it would stick. And then because it wasn't smooth, when I went to back it up, it would just catch because it was so rough. So what I had to do was I had to remove this face right here, put it on a belt sander, grind it down so that it was even, then take some sandpaper and polish down the bed right here so that it's smooth. Like now, I mean, it's like smooth as glass. Got a plane flying over, so bear with me on that until this plane kind of does its thing and takes off, gets to its destination. And so yeah, I got this down super smooth. So now, like, you know, when I operate it, it's, you know, nice and good. Another thing I had to do was, you're gonna see here these like little grooves right here. You're gonna have to take sandpaper, sand all of that, sand it all down. You're gonna have a little key that fits in between here, and that is gonna act as like a brake. And you can see here that there's a adjustment screw right here. And that adjustment screw is what keeps everything tight. And so the tighter you make this adjustment screw, the tighter this is going to be, but it's not going to slide as smooth. It's going to lock up. So you kind of want to play with it so that you get it right at that balance point. And in order to get it running smooth, you're going to have to polish this down. And so, you're going to have to take some sandpaper. I started with 500 grit and worked my way up to 2000 grit. Scotch-Brite pads, all that stuff, and just really just sand, get in there, clean, sand again, clean, sand again. And that's when I got it really smooth. And then you can see here, this little guide rod right here, this is pressed in. So you're gonna have to get a press and press this out, polish it with sandpaper so that this is smooth, so that this face slides over this really smooth, So that's another thing. I cleaned out all of this with a wire brush, so there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to get this to run smooth, but the thing is, it's worth it. And if you like working in the garage anyway, and if you're buying this, you're a fabricator, chances are, you like to take something that needs work and fix it up. I love doing that, I love finding something that needs work and then, you fix it up so that it's better. And then when it's, when it's all said and done, you can look at it and say like, oh man, this is really cool. Like I brought it back to life. So smash the like button if you are that person that likes to just revive things that are just kind of like not at its best and make them great. So, like moving on about this vise, this cross slide vise, these adjustment knobs, they're also one of those things where you have to like dial in and tighten it just enough so that it's not too loose and it's not too tight, so that you can so that it slides freely. And it comes with this, like a little indicator measuring. It comes in millimeters. I think a tenth, measures every tenth, but I don't use it. I rather just mark my work and then go off of that. Because sometimes I'm moving it in such small increments that this, this isn't even like coming up. So, but it is a nice feature to have on this thing. But other than that, like this thing is really, really needed. It's, it's a useful tool in the garage, a must-have in the garage. And I'll talk about the feet, the mounting feet. So you get 5 mounting feet on this cross slide vise. And if you have like a welding table like this with a bunch of holes, you do get three points of contact where you can bolt it down. So that's nice. If you have the Delta drill press, and I've made a review on that Delta drill press. I'll put a link up top and a link down below. If you have that, then the table on that drill press, it will not accommodate this vise. And so you're gonna have to make a mounting plate to mount to this vise and then mount the mounting plate to the drill press table. That's the way that, it's gonna work. That's the way that, that's my solution at least. You may have a better solution. If you do have a better solution, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. And so, that's the really cool thing. Now, what's on everybody's mind is, can you turn your drill press into a mill with this cross slide vise? And the answer is yes and no. So yes, you can if you use it for wood and plastic, but you have to understand that your drill press is not designed to be a mill, okay? It's designed to just drill holes straight down, right? Mills can go left and right because, they're designed stronger. So, like the keyway that holds the, whatever bit is in there, that is a lot stronger than what's on the drill press. Also, the bearing on the drill press isn't designed to handle those sideways loads, those lateral loads. So, if you mill, say something like this on a drill press, you know, with this cross slide vise, chances are you're gonna just wreck your drill press. And your drill press, the chuck on it is usually dialed in pretty good. If you've seen my drill press review again, you'll know that mine is within like, I think 0.02 of an inch or 1.5 thou off, which is really good. And when you start milling, it just throws that off. Now, if you have a mill, because it's designed for that, then you're not gonna have to worry about, you know, damaging it or anything like that. And you can mill harder metals. But if you wanna use the cross-slide vise to mill on your drill press, then stick to just plastic and wood. But if you're gonna do metal, so that's the yes. If you're gonna do metal, then the answer is no. Don't mill any kind of metal with this vise. Another thing is that this vise is not accurate. So, you know, you'll hear a lot of people complaining that this is not good for milling. You know, it's like they bought it to use for milling and it just became a horrible experience because it's not for milling. Like I said earlier, this vise is just so that you can move your workpiece in space without having to remove it from the vise. So that's the main purpose of this cross-slide vise. But you can, you know, use it as a mill. You can use it for milling jobs if you're not too concerned about accuracy. So keep that in mind. You know, but yeah, aside from that, this is well built. I've used it a lot and it's holding up strong. I've really cranked down on this and you know, this whole piece is super strong. Nothing's cracking, nothing's breaking. The main thing about this cross-slide vise is that you just got to put in the work to get it to operate smoothly. So, you know, that's the thing. So be ready when you make your purchase, right when you get it out the box, just tear it all apart, strip it down and clean it, sand it, polish it. Like get every surface that is metal to metal, get that as smooth as possible. So like take that up to like 2000 grit, like really polish that. The little keys inside that fit in these little channels, these grooves right here, run those on a belt sander and just really polish down all of that so that it's all smooth. Because like if you take some sandpaper, you're gonna see some high points where the metal is not uniform and it's not uniformly smooth. So you're gonna have to take you know, put it on a belt sander, sand it down and get that really smooth, nice and polished. Get it so that everything is just at like almost like a glass-like finish. And then you're gonna really see this thing come to life. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. So, oh man, you know, just talking about it, just, you know, I feel good, you know? So that's the cool thing. This vise, I highly recommend a cross-slide vise. I'll put a link down in the description for this WEN cross-slide vise. It's really cool. And the price is good, you know, considering you do the work to fix it up. So I'll show you this in action as like, you know, doing some light duty milling stuff. And you can go from there and make your decision on, you know, whether or not you think this is a good cross-slide vise for milling or if it's better to just buy a mill. But I highly recommend that if you are going to do a lot of milling, to just go out and buy a mill. So I'll put a link in the description down below on a good mill that I recommend. But in terms of this cross-slide vise, let's go and see what it's like on the drill press. All right, let's go. All right, so here we have our cross-slide vise on our drill press. And you can see here that I'll go ahead and give you like a quick look at the drill press. So as you can see here, we're on the Delta drill press. And I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description below on where you can get this drill press. This is the last drill press you will ever need to buy. All right, so here we have an end mill. So this is different from a drill bit, as end mills are flat, and they also have like flutes on the side for cutting as well. So that's going to be the difference. And once again, that's so that you can cut sideways. Now we're going to go ahead and test this out on plastic. So this is a bicycle tire removal tool. So we're just going to go ahead and open this up. Put this in the vise like that. And then we're going to go ahead and bring this over right here. Drop this down until it hits, right? So we have to drop this down until it hits, and then we're going to drill into it, and then we're going to lock it in place. So you'll see what I mean. All right, so let's see. So basically we're going to turn this on, right? And we're going to come down until where we want it. Let's say we want it like right there. Then we're going to lock it, okay? And then from there, we're just going to go and we're going to slide it very gently, just very gently. And you can see there, we're milling. So we're just shaving off this thin layer, maybe like 1/1000th of an inch. You know, and we're just going very slow. Very slow. 1/1000th of an inch. Right? It's real slow. And then we'll come back. Touch it up on this end right here. Come back, just real slow. Real slow. You see how I'm turning the knob right here? Very slow. Very slow. Okay. All right, so then we can take this up like this. I can take this out like this. Clean it up. And you can see right there. And that's how you mill plastic. So you can see how I milled it, and I just took off this little layer right there. And you can see, let's see, you can see, I mean, that's barely anything, but you would just keep doing that like over and over and over. This little part right here. So you would just keep doing that over and over and over until you got it to the dimensions that you wanted it. So if I wanted to erase all of this, if I want to remove all of this, then I would just completely, I would do the whole pass and just remove it. So I'll show you that. I'll remove this whole thing, and yeah, we'll see how it works. So one thing you'll notice that it's not bolted, and I highly recommend to bolt this, but because this pass is so light and it's on plastic, that the weight of the vise alone is enough. But safety first, always bolt the vise to your drill press table. One thing I will recommend is that anytime you start over, then you're gonna have to make a new pass over your old work, just because, once again, this is not a mill, so it's gonna be hard to get everything back to zero, to where you started. So you're gonna have to go back over it a few times. So you can see there, it is completely gone now. Completely erased. So milling plastics is good. And now I'll show you one with wood and see how wood performs on the vise. And once again, the smoother you make this cross-slide vise, the better it'll cut. But when it's rough, it's just going to be harder to really cut with this thing, because you won't be able to get it to run as smooth and to move as smoothly to get those really fine incremental turns. I made a cross. Praise be to the Lord. And so you can see I milled a cross, and it wasn't, I didn't level this block, so that's why it's got a really shallow side here and a deep side there. But you can see here I made a cross, and so that's what milling can do. So like, let's say for example, you know, you just wanted to like make, let's say, excuse me, let's say you wanted to make this is like some kind of decoration for your family for Christmas, then that's one good thing that the cross-slide vise can do with plastic and wood, is that you can mill things like this. You know, then from here you can just fill it in with paint, or you know, some kind of like glue, color glue and glitter, and then put like an epoxy over it, and then you would have a nice cross to hang on the wall. So that's really cool. So that's what this cross-slide vise can do and everything like that. So I'll go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. So yep, so here's the cross-slide vise once again by WEN, and here are the end mills. I'll go ahead and I'll put the end mills in the description down below, so look out for these end mills. These are really good and they're cheap. They're not gonna break the bank. I think they're like 14 bucks or something. You get a whole set. So that's really cool. These are super sharp, super strong, good for plastics and metal. Good for plastics and wood. So, you know, really good once again. And, you know, so here you go. Once again, here's the cross that I made. So as you can see right there, I milled this off. So right here, you can see this is really good for plastic and wood, the cross slide vise. And highly recommend it. Go pick one up. It's a great addition to the garage. You won't be disappointed in this choice. So highly recommend it. And until then, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.